Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to 75 South Gardening. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can build a hoop house to protect your veggies. So what you're looking at right here is everything that you're going to need to complete this project. 3/4 heater hose, a hammer, a staple machine, conduit, which is the aluminum pipe you see there, screws, and a drill. So what I'm going to do first is get my drill and drill the frame together, which is the square I have on the outside. So now that I have all 4 corners screwed together, I'm going to go ahead and drive in my angled pieces with my hammer. Now I forgot to mention that you're also going to need an adjustable clamp. Now this is going to hold the angled pieces in place while you drive in the screws. Now I might go in crooked at first, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to hold in place. That's it. Okay, so now I have the frame ready. Now some of these might even go in crooked, like the ones you see here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to keep the bugs out. And this is actually scrap wood from my backyard, so you don't have to go out and buy new wood. If you have stuff laying around, just use what you have. So what I'm going to do now is install the conduit and the PVC. Now you want this to stick out of the ground. Now that I have my metal tubing installed, I can go ahead and add the PVC. Now for those of you that will be buying this metal tubing, if you're going to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they have a little cutting center on the same aisle. Now if you're not familiar with cutting pipes, just find someone that works in that department and they can cut it down to size for you. Now these are all 2 feet long. Now I'm going to show you the correct way to install your PVC pipe to avoid injuries. Alright, now I'm ready to install the PVC pipe. Now when you go to buy your PVC pipe, it won't be shaped like the one that you see here. This one is shaped that way because it's used, and once it sits in the sun for so long, it basically molds into that shape. So what you want to do when you bend your PVC pipe is, you want to make sure that you're holding this with 2 hands and you're pushing down beside your hip. You don't want it like this between your legs, because if it slips, you're not going to have a good day. And if it doesn't hit you in between your legs, it's probably going to come up and hit you in your face. So to avoid injuries, when you push it down from the side and squat down like this slowly. Now this is the correct way to do it. Remember, keep it beside your hip and not between your legs. Now that I have the PVC installed, I can go ahead and add my insect netting. But before I do that, I'm going to add one more piece of PVC in the middle across the top. And I'll secure that with zip ties. Now the insect netting that I'll be using today is a product that I got from Amazon, and I'll leave a link below in my description. Now before I install my insect netting, I'm going to go ahead and cut my PVC just a little shorter because I'll be growing cabbage in here, and this is way too tall for cabbage, and that will also save me material. What I'm going to use to cut it is a simple PVC pipe cutter. Now that I have it cut down to the size that I want, I'm going to go ahead and add my insect netting. Now I did forget to bring an extra piece of PVC, so to replace that piece across the top, I'm just going to use a wooden stake. Now all I have to do is secure that down and install my insect netting. Alright y'all, I got the top piece secured. Now I forgot my zip ties, but it's nothing that the 8-pound test line can't handle. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and install my insect netting. Now that I have my netting in place, I'm going to go ahead and do one side at a time and staple it down to the wood. I'm also going to leave it loose at the bottom because I'm growing cabbage in here, and cabbage spreads wide, and I want to leave space for the netting to expand as the cabbage grows. So I'm going to start in the back, and I'm simply going to take the netting, tuck it behind the cinder block, then staple it down to the wood. Now you don't have to cut the extra, you can just tuck it down because the plants are going to grow wide, and once they grow wide, you want it to push out like this. So pull this back, tuck it like that. Same thing here. I'm going to work my way around this way towards the front, and then I'll end up on that side where I can cut it, where I'll have my trellis. That's it. Now it should look something like this once completed. I have my extra netting cut away. I also have it stapled on the sides all the way around. Now all I have to do is secure the front netting that you see here. And to do that, I'll be using my 3/4 heater hose that I have cut down the middle, along with push pins. So I'll be adding 3 of these to each side to hold my netting in place. You do it just like this. Pull your netting in place, pop it on like that. That's it. Same thing on the other side. this front piece here, I'm going to take my wooden stake and just roll it up. Just like that. Take my push pins, press it down there, and press it down there. Now you don't have to worry about any insects getting into your hoop house. It should look something like this once you get done. I have the front secured. I have it stapled all the way around with loose netting so that as the plants grow, they can push that netting out and not be smashed all up against each other. Now if you're growing out of a wooden raised bed, you want to do the same thing. Just staple along the sides all the way around and secure the front with push pins or clamps or whatever you have on your yard. Now this is the elevated raised bed that I built for my mom. It's working pretty good. We don't have any bug problems. Now these are also the collards that I showed you guys in my thinning video. I'm going to give you a closer look. Now, I haven't noticed any damage from bugs other than what you already see, and that happened on my yard when the cabbage moths were out. But so far everything seems to be looking good, and they've been in here for about 2 weeks now. And that's pretty much it for today's video, you guys. Always remember to plan your garden with your health in mind.